Hi and welcome. So the cheapest house I will present you in today's video costs 5,200 US dollars. Wow. Whilst it's not the most modern house, someone lived there up until now. So let's explore this property together. And the most expensive property I will present to you today costs 600,000 US dollars. Whilst this is not cheap, it ticks a lot of boxes. Well, at least for me. It is quite big. It has 6 rooms. It has a pool. It has about 800 neighbors. So there is a community. It is only 500 meters to a beautiful beach. That's almost everything I could wish for. What about you? Let me know in the comments down below. In between, we have some amazing houses, especially some houses in like a Swedish Scandinavian style from like 50,000 US dollars up until 500,000 US dollars. I hope that there is a house for everyone. Do let me know which house is your favorite in the comments down below. Honestly, it's one of my favorite videos to make because I fall in love with so many different houses here in Sweden and they're all quite unique. So I can't wait to show you all of them. Welcome if you're new to my channel. I just wanted to let you know that I make these videos regularly, maybe once a month, where I show you amazing or very cheap or both properties here in Sweden. And I just wanted to say that when you see the prices of the houses, this is normally the starting price. Here in Sweden, you can bid on houses. So normally a bidding process starts when the house is on the market. So sometimes the price can go up, sometimes even significantly. Although I have to say, because the housing market, the interest rates are still quite high, I have observed like houses and normally it stays the same. Maybe it goes up a percentage, but often it even lowers the price of the house as well. But of course, it also depends on the competition. And the houses I will show you today are found on the website hemnet.se, which is probably the biggest website here in Sweden to buy properties in Sweden. But yeah, it is my go-to website and I quite like the layout as well. But before we start looking at the first property, make sure to, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. But also there is a link in the description down below where you can subscribe to my newsletter, where I actually share more properties in every newsletter. And you will also get a little ebook with 10 questions about if Sweden is the right fit for you. Let's get started. So here you can see the first property, which is 50,000 Swedish krona or 5,200 US dollars. I always translate to English so everyone can really read what it is about. So it's a villa ownership, full ownership, 3 rooms, year of constructions 1935. Then we have a quick look where it is located. So approximately 200 meters to the sea, which is really nice to have. So let's have a quick look and zoom out a little bit where it is located. And you can see it is in the north of Sweden, north central. I think this is already considered north, but it is actually not too up in the north, more like central. So the location is not too bad. And you can actually also see bidding in process. So actually people already started bidding on it. So that means normally if at least one person bids on the property, it will be sold. But obviously only when you sign the contract, then everything is final. Let's have a look at the images. So it does look a little bit old already from the outside. So if you want to live there by yourself, you might want to renovate it. And here is the inside. You can see it definitely hasn't been renovated for a long time. So that needs a lot of work, but bear in mind this house only cost 5,200 US dollars. And I do get that probably a lot of improvements have to be made. You have to also have a look, what the pipes are, if there is, a basement. You have to see if everything works, if you have connections there, for water, electricity and things like that. But you can also see that someone definitely lived there, or I would not live there, because it does look a little bit, like, how do you say that? Like messy. But yeah, here you can see where it is located, and you also have a few neighbors here, but also some railways, which is definitely a thing you have to consider when looking for a house. And then let's go to the next house, which is 495,000 Swedish krona, which sounds a lot, but it's actually 50,000 US dollars. That's not too bad. And it even says here, so you have 6 rooms, which is pretty nice. And it's a little bit older than the house we just looked at. Year of construction 1965. So let's scroll down a little bit to see where it is located. It looks like it's located in like a smaller town or something, and approximately 250 meters from water, which is like a lake. So we can zoom out a little bit and you see a little bit more. It's definitely a small town there. So at least you have a supermarket or something like that, some amenities around there. But then you can see it's quite in the middle of Sweden, a little bit more north, but definitely a bit further away from the sea. Let's have a look at some photos. I really, really love that it's like wood outside. It looks really nice from outside. And then we go inside and see, I would say it's definitely not the oldest, but you could probably paint those. The color is really not my color. Anything green or red in the kitchen screams no to me. But the floor doesn't look bad. It's quite a big kitchen as well, so that's nice. But you can see, the doorknobs and everything is a little bit older. Those inbuilt wardrobes is probably also a little bit older, but it's totally livable, I would say. Then you have a room here, which could potentially be a living room, and they actually left like the stove and the oven here, the fireplace. And here's some more inside wood, which actually looks quite cozy, I feel. Here we have the bathroom, which is definitely also a little bit older. And this is probably the living room. Although it seems like the window here indicates it's like a basement room. This is definitely also here, the basement. You have a bathroom in the basement. So there's a lot of space in the basement, living space. And here's is that a sauna, I assume? And then you can also see that you have some neighbors around you. Quite a bit of neighbors, and then the lake in the background. That's quite nice. And here you see it without snow. It's definitely not the most modern house, but you can definitely live there. And here you can see where the house is located and really what the neighborhood looks like. So you even have like a sports field here, an ice hall, like where you can play probably ice hockey or things like that. Lots of water around here. So it seems like a very nice area to live in. But let's jump to the next one. This house here is also 495,000 Swedish krona, which is also 50,000 krona. So it's a little bit a different house for 50,000. So let's have a look. It looks quite Swedish, I would say. It's also an ownership, 1909. So that is actually, if you think about it, 60 years older. Although someone told us in the comments once that they sometimes don't even share if a house is even older than 1909, if I remember correctly. But let's have a look where it is located. It looks like it's quite remote. A few houses around here you can see, but it's definitely not as big as like a little town or even village. Here you can see Torsas is probably the next kind of village. It is approximately 2.7 kilometers to water, but it is actually in the south of Sweden, as you can see here. South of Sweden, not very far away from Öland, this island here. So the location seems quite cool. Like, people love to live in the south of Sweden, obviously, because the winters are not as long or cold than in the north. Still long and cold compared to other countries, but not as bad as in the north of Sweden. Let's have a look at some images of this house. I love this kind of entrance so much. It looks so Swedish to me. And then you have a little bit the environment. It's like half in the forest, which is really nice. But you do have some neighbors around as well. And you have a little extra house on the property. A garage. And this is inside. Here's the front door, which looks really cool. It looks maybe a little bit old, but it's very, very charming. And look inside. It looks actually so much better than I expected. It has been renovated for sure. And it looks very, very charming. Here you have even a little fireplace. And some half wooden panels in there. That's actually really surprising, especially for the price of $50,000 US. Then you have the fireplace, a renovated bathroom, and this is the kitchen, which also looks decent to me. A little bit small, but still fine. You have an office. I like that they show the details of the doors and windows, which they probably try to leave some, you know, older, how do you say that? Like some older items of the house, and especially also the beams here. This is really cool. They even, I don't know, maybe they build it around it, but that looks pretty cool around the bathtub. And then you have a little outside, and here you can see where it is located. And again, you have some houses here, you definitely have some neighbors, so it's not like super remote. This is a really cool house for $50,000. Like, that is really cheap. Some people can buy that without even taking out a mortgage, and you don't even have to super renovate the house either. So, and it's in the south of Sweden. Let me know if that's your dream house. If you want to buy it, let me know in the comments down below. Then we jump to the next property, which is 1,350,000 Swedish kronor. Still, you know, especially also with a mortgage, I would say it's not the worst price ever. It's also a villa ownership, built in 1967, 5 rooms. Operating costs are not as high as the others we saw. Let's have a look where it is located. Approximately 350 meters to water. I always love to highlight that because I would personally love to live next to water, and that is really not far at all to a lake, which is pretty amazing. So let's zoom out a little bit where it is located. And it is not too far from like Stockholm, Uppsala, so it's kind of like central Sweden. Location is not too bad, and there's a lot of you know, smaller towns and villages around it. But let's have a look at the photos. The first photo looks pretty nice. I can tell that it has been renovated as well. It's not like an old house inside. And they have done a nice job here with those wooden panels, and I love that color actually quite a bit. And here's the house from outside. It definitely has quite a few rooms. This is the kitchen with dining area. Kitchen also looks quite nice actually. I always like to look at kitchens because I do spend quite a bit of time in the kitchen, you know, preparing food for the family. It's just a thing when you have a family. I like these golden handlebars. Yeah, so they really show the kitchen and dining from all kind of corners. And then here we have the living room. It looks also quite charming, actually. It's not like just the white and gray interior or walls you sometimes see in houses, which I don't personally mind, but some people said, you know, that's quite boring. So this is definitely not boring. It looks pretty nice to me. Here's a bedroom with some built wardrobes, which maybe they have actually just renovated, like painted, put new handles on, you know, and it looks so much better, and you don't even have to put so much effort into renovating. But obviously they have renovated more in this house. They seem to have a lot of kids, or maybe it's a guest room. And then here's the hallway a little bit, the bathroom, which looks super nice. You can tell it has definitely been renovated. Small but really nice. And here is a property from outside. We're jumping inside again. This is another bathroom, also renovated. Also looks really nice, I have to say. And then here's the hallway with this charm, and you can see they put a lot of effort into giving this house like a really, really nice character. I think I really I'm falling in love with this property. So that's really cool. I mean, 140,000 US dollars and you get this. That's not too bad. If that's your favorite house, let me know in the comments down below. Then we have the next house, 1,895,000 Swedish krona, which is approximately 200,000 US dollars. What is interesting is they say 4 rooms here, built in 1916, but they also say a holiday home. So some people use this as like a second home. But let's see if you could potentially also live there the whole year around. It definitely has a really cool, like a design, a very Swedish Nordic design. Let's have a look where it is located. Approximately 50 meters to water. So I think we will see that in the images. But yeah, here you can see where it is located. This time it doesn't happen often that it's on the other side, so it's very close to Gothenburg. It's on the west side of Sweden, which is really cool. So let's have a look at some images. First impression is really nice, and there you can see a little bit zoomed out. Yeah, here you can see the water, which is probably like a lake. So here's the house, and maybe that even belongs to the house. I don't know why there is like an error here. I haven't read the description, but maybe you can actually park your little boat there or something. Maybe that belongs to you, but look how amazing this looks. I love it. And there's a lot of land around it, and an extra house as well, which I don't know if that's already the smaller house or in the house, but that's the kitchen. This could be potentially the smaller house we're seeing here with the bathroom. So, and really either you can rent it out or you can have a guest room there. But now I don't know if you're already in the house. I think this is already the bigger house, which also looks very livable. It's not that you have to completely renovate it. You can just obviously change the walls if you want to, or the floor. You don't have to. It's totally livable. And here's another nice outside view. They know that this is probably a good selling point. having the house with a few neighbors and the lake where you can just walk and then take your boat. It's a dream. Ah, yeah, okay, here you can see this is a little house next to the big house. It has a living room or bedroom with a kitchen and a hall. Actually, what I'm saying, this is the main house. Sorry, yeah, no, this is the main house. And then upstairs you have another kind of living room and 2 bedrooms. Yeah, okay, here we see it a little bit better. Yeah, the kitchen looked a little bit small, I thought. But it's still, you know, you still have at least 2 bedrooms. And then you also have a basement. Really, really nice house. Let's see the next one. 3,995,000 Swedish krona. So it's a little bit more expensive. 415,000 US dollars. Built in 1868. Okay, that is probably the oldest house I've seen with a year of construction. 5 rooms. But you can see it's also very Swedish with, you know, the entrance in the middle. But let's have a look first where it is located. You can see operating costs is a bit higher, but I think with older buildings, that's basically the price you pay. Approximately 1 mile to water. It's interesting that they say mile now, normally it's kilometers. But you can also see it's located in a little town. So you even have a Lidl here, as you could see. Lidl is not far away. Lakes are never far away. Örebro is the next bigger city. So it is also more like south central Sweden. So the lake location is quite nice, I thought. So let's check out the photos. First impression is actually really nice. You can also see like a nice terrace, and that has also been built or, you know, renovated not too long ago. So this is the house from outside, and then you go inside, and the first impression, definitely super livable, definitely renovated. I mean, considering how old this building is, it looks super nice, and I love these little windows here. You can see the kitchen here. Wow, I love that. It's such a mix of modern, and then you have here on the right the old stove they probably left in because it just gives the house so much character. That's really cool. This is like half renovated and half kept as it is. Such a cool idea. I love that. And the rest of the kitchen I love as well. And then here you have one of those old fireplaces, ovens. Very cool. Then you have one bedroom here, and you have an older oven here as well, and an ensuite bathroom. As I can see, they left those old handles in as well. Really nice. And here's the ensuite bathroom, and here we go into the living room. There's always like one part they left from the old house, which is what you want to do, really, to leave the charm of the house. So this is kind of I would say the living room and a dining area. Looks so cool. The bathroom, more bedrooms, smaller bedroom for kids with a TV in there. And outside, very, very charming. And this is the outside bit we saw earlier. You can actually sit outside and have a roof over your head. That's quite nice. This seems like a little sauna. Nice. Ooh, and then they have a little bunker or storage space built into a rock or something. Or maybe they put stones on it. I don't know. I never can tell. I do not know much about it, so only what I see I know, really. This is the layout of the house. It definitely has quite a few rooms, quite a lot of bedrooms. And this is where it's located. Wow, I feel like in today's video, one house is better than the others. I think I have the feeling I never found so many cool houses than in this video. We have 2 more left, so let's do this. Here is another house of 4,850,000 Swedish krona, which is 500,000 US dollars, so $500,000. This is definitely not cheap, but let's see what kind of benefits it has. It has 5 rooms, quite a bit of land, and this is a more modern house, 2010, built in 2010. So you can tell that modern houses are probably a little bit more expensive. Let's see where it is located, approximately 2.7 kilometers to the sea. So it doesn't really have, you know, water like super nearby, but it also doesn't look, but it's a very, very great location if you look at it. You have Helsingborg not too far away, Lund, Malmö, and then also you can go to Copenhagen. So I'm sure you pay also a little bit for the location. Let's have a look at the property. So you do have some neighbors there, which is nice. There's a little bit of community, but it is also in the countryside. It looks like a very big house actually. And obviously this is more a modern house, not very far away from a Swedish style, I would say. But look, you can go out and it's super quiet. You know, I like that it's not, you know, so busy, that you have like a nice countryside life there. And it looks obviously quite modern. It was only built in 2010. Quite big rooms. This looks like a fire wooden hot tub, like you can heat it with fire basically. That's nice. Yeah, definitely have a big terrace and a garden. I would be interested who likes this kind of house more than maybe the Swedish Scandinavian style. I would be super interested who the neighbors are, because you do not have so many neighbors. So you kind of, you know, if there's a cool family living next door, perfect. I mean, what do you need more? Then your kids can just go over there, or the neighbor kids come to your house and then can play together, and you can sit in the garden and, you know, enjoy yourself. This is the layout. So you have a huge kind of living room in the middle, and then the garage on one side and the bedrooms on the other side. Yeah, let me know, is that your favorite house? Let me know in the comments down below. And now the last house I mentioned at the very beginning, for 5,695,000 Swedish krona, which is around 600,000 US dollars. Not cheap at all, but like I said at the very beginning, it ticks a lot of amazing boxes. So you have ownership of this villa, 6 rooms. Year of constructions is 1976. Operating costs not too cheap, but let's have a look where it is located. Approximately 550 meters to the sea. And you can also see you have some neighbors here. So it is in a village, located in a village, very close to water and very south of Sweden. Couldn't be any more south. So I feel like the location is quite nice. And then there's Ystad. I've seen Ystad many times. I think it's quite a popular area. Let's have a look at the pictures. Very nice pool. I would love to have that kind of pool. So here you have the garage as well, balcony, and now inside you can see it's super modern, like super new. The kitchen looks really big as well. I love this kitchen. This looks amazing. And then you actually have the living room in the same room, which is something I love because, you know, I love when the family is kind of in the same room. Kids are playing or watching TV, whatever. Oh, you have a nice little fridge, drinks fridge here. It's very American with like ice you can have and stuff. And then you have the dining area, living room area, all in one big room. The bathroom looks really nice. I cannot complain. This looks incredible. You have walk-in wardrobe. That's amazing. A little office space upstairs and a little like another kind of living area with a fireplace and the balcony we saw earlier. The bedroom. Another great bathroom with a sauna. So you have a sauna and like a pool, swimming pool. Love, love, love this house. I would totally buy it. Little gym in the basement, lots of neighbors. I can imagine this is a pretty nice area to live in. Again, it's not cheap, but it's not super out of budget. I mean, we have seen some crazy properties in my videos, and for that price you get a lot, I would say. Here's the plan, and that's it for today. Well, I want to know which was your favorite house. Let me know in the comments down below, and if you like this type of video, make sure to subscribe my channel. Also like this video so I know you want to see more of it. Thank you so much for watching till the end, and I will see you in my next video. Hej då!